Let's you know what? Let's. I mean, we got some time here. You want to just dive right into the UFC 197 card?
Let's do it.
All right. So it's awesome. That's the first thing. There's a lot of, before we get to the three main fights, Pettis, Barbosa, Mighty Mouse, Cejudo, and Jones St. Preux, is there a certain fight or fighter that you see on this card that it really intrigues you on 197?
Bringing up the whole card here real quick.
Well, while you do that, I'll go first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Robert Whittaker fights Rafael Natal in the, I guess, fourth fight. The New Zealander who he looked really good in his last fight. He was on the UFC 193 card, whatever the Rousey home card was, where he beat Uriah Hall by unanimous decision, and he's on a 4-fight winning streak right now, and his last loss came against Wonderboy Thompson via knockout. So, I mean, Wonderboy's an absolute fantastic fighter, and I can't wait to see him fight in Ottawa on that card. What's it? Wonderboy and Cowboy? I think that's the or is it Wonderboy Roy McDonald, excuse me.
I was thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, what?
Cowboy's on that card against somebody. I think it's Patrick Cote. But regardless, Whittaker is the type of fighter who's very well rounded, but also can throw these unorthodox strikes that really tend to mess with people. And a guy like Natal, this should be a showcase for him to kind of move up a little bit in the middleweight conversation. Remember, he was supposed to fight Michael Bisping in Australia before Bisping went out with a hand injury. So he's the kind of guy I look at, and if he goes out and puts on a fight of the night performance on this card, I think we could see a lot more of him in the middleweight division. What's your fight to watch?
No, I mean, I'm just looking through the card here. I'm looking at some of these guys, and you know, I'm almost looking at I'm just looking at, I'm just looking through here. I see Esparza.
Yeah, Carlos Esparza, of course, the former strawweight champion, fighting Juliana Lima.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting matches. I'm looking down here way down at the Fight Pass card here. Kevin Lee. You know, I just look at different. I like him, because of the wrestling and things like that. Nothing really stands out like one other than what you just spoke of there. Other than your top three.
It's
really
funny.
I mean,
you're missing one fantastic part about this card. Andre Fili, who has the second greatest nickname in the history of the UFC, behind Corey Beeston 25.
Oh my
Anderson.
God, are you kidding me? That's his nickname for real?
Andre Touchy Fili?
Oh my goodness, I love it. I love it.
Come on, you can't get any better. I've heard a lot about Yair Rodriguez too. Who's 7-1 going into this fight?
Yeah, he's looking pretty good.
So I think that's a fight to watch.
It could be, but again, the funny part about a lot of this stuff is that when they get on these main cards, they don't end up being the same fighter that they wore.
Yeah,
and again, like I don't think I could be the same fighter I was either. I've never been in a spotlight like that, but it just seems like every time we sit here and we talk about who we expect, that they never seem to. Maybe it's us. They just never seem to fill out on the fight the way we thought they would.
I mean, we build these guys up way too much.
Apparently, yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, but I mean, some people. That's why we can appreciate the guys who live up to the hype so much.
Yeah, that's true. Very true.
And speaking of a fight that's going to live up to the hype, because I really, really, really wanted it to, Anthony Showtime Pettis, Edson Barbosa, in a kicking fight for the ages. Oh. Holy shnikes, this is going to be amazing.
There's going to be some welts.
Dude, Edson Barbosa, watching him fight, I literally cringe every time somebody gets hit with one of those kicks.
Yeah, who was it that he fought the last time that had the welts on their back?
Paul Felder?
I think that's who it was. I think it was Felder.
I mean, you had the fight between him and Tony Ferguson, didn't you? Mm-hmm. That was his last fight.
Yeah.
And Ferguson, that's where I gave him the Battle Droid nickname. And it sucks that we didn't get to see him against Nurmagomedov, but like Barbosa is this type of fighter who's going to go out there and put on a freaking show. And Pettis, this is a huge fight for him. Coming off of a bad performance against Eddie Alvarez, who basically neutralized Showtime. Everything that we know Anthony Pettis for was completely put away. His tremendous stand-up game, he's very difficult to wrangle on the ground.
He's creative. He does a lot of he creates a lot of things for himself.
I don't know who's your pick here, because I mean I'm a fan of Barbosa, the way he fights, and this is a major fight for Showtime. Who do you got in this scenario? You think?
I think. Look, Pettis has got to come back and look good here. He's got to live up to that Showtime nickname here, and I'm going to go with Pettis.
I mean, he is a former champion, so you never want to discount Showtime Pettis. I think Barbosa gives him a real great run here, but I agree. I think this fight goes the distance, and I think Anthony Pettis wins. But it's going to be close.
There's going to be a lot of icing down afterwards from the kicks.
Yes, I think Barbosa has a real opportunity here, though. If he connects high with one of those kicks, and if he works the body the first couple of rounds, it could be lights out.
Yeah, no. I think it can go either way. And again, if Pettis lets guard down, Barbosa can make you pay quickly with the feet.
And speaking of quick feet, Demetrious Johnson, Henry Cejudo, as we mentioned, co-main event. What can Cejudo do to have a chance against Demetrious Johnson?
Take him down and hold him down.
So
control the fight. Our favorite thing. Make it ugly, baby. Make it ugly.
The official motto of the FullMountainMMA.com.
Make it ugly. That's what you got to do. Because let me tell you something right now. Henry Cejudo might be the messenger, but Mighty Mouse is looking to send a message.
He's going to deliver a package right into his face, man. Demetrious Johnson, I see Cejudo being like watching Johnson's last fight against Horiguchi. I was like, if Horiguchi had a couple more fights underneath his belt, I think this could be a little bit more interesting than it was. Mm-hmm. And I think that holds true here for Cejudo because he's being thrown at these 3 or 4-0 in the UFC. Yeah. And I just see the way Mighty Mouse conducts himself. It's money. Guy is the fastest person in the UFC. The speed, the agility, the movement. It's unparalleled in the sport. And I just can't pick against him.
What's funny, too, is I'm looking at this, and, Cejudo is a world-class, wrestler and things like that. His takedown accuracy is not that good. 33%. Mighty Mouse has a better takedown accuracy than Henry Cejudo. That's interesting because he's the third. I heard this. He's the third ever Olympic gold medalist in the history of the UFC. Yeah, I mean, now takedowns defended, he's at 100%, but his accuracy is only at 33. Maybe because he shoots so much. Yeah, could you know what it is? I mean, he Mighty Mouse shoots more than him, according to the UFC's fight stats. But I just find this. If Cejudo can stuff all these takedowns, which this is why this wrestling background gets so interesting, I want to see Mighty Mouse kind of just try to pick away at him. And Cejudo, who's got this tremendous wrestling background, as a striker, we don't know what he's going to do against tough, high-level competition. Yeah, no, true. Very true. And this could be his first test of, UCA Formiga, Chico Camas, these aren't names that scream elite. You're fighting the best pound-for-pound fighter possibly in the world. Yeah. I have a hard time believing that you're going to be able to stop him. And I think it's going to be another – I think it'll be – he'll play with him for the first couple rounds, but when Mighty Mouse gets going, I think it's going to be over. I cannot agree more. I see a decision in the future, though. Really? I think it's no decision, huh?
Yes, I see a unanimous decision in favor of Mighty Mouse.
I think there's going to be a stoppage in that one.
Yeah. Okay.
That's going to be a 5-rounder, right? That's for the belt.
That is a 5-rounder. That's a championship.
Double five rounders.
One thing that we both, I believe, won't think will be a 5-round.
Yeah.
Would be the main event between John Jones and Ovince St. Preux, the former Tennessee college football player, 33 years old, who everyone describes as a prospect, including me. So even though he is 33, the Raw OSP against the returning John Bones Jones. I wrote an article explaining why Ovince St. Preux can beat John Jones.
Yes, you did.
This was my job, eloquated to me by the higher-ups here at the Full Mountain.
Somebody don't like you.
I literally saw the email and texted back, I have to come up with 3 reasons.
Hey, we threw our input on what we thought it would be, you know.
And then I literally got back like, no, just do it. Do your best. So I did my best, and I will explain to you how Ovince St. Preux can win this fight. Of course, OSP had been on a roll until he ran into the hulking Glover Teixeira, who has been on an absolute roll. This was at UFC Fight Night Nashville in August. St. Preux has beaten Rafael Cavalcante, who is not in the UFC anymore.
That's easy for you to say.
Patrick Cummins and Shogun Rua in his last 3 wins. He lost to Ryan Bader in a fight where he looked pretty lost, so he's 3-2 in his last 5 fights. St. Preux is an interesting one. I like him as a fighter. This is way too big of a jump in competition for him. John Jones is John Jones, which we'll get to. Don't worry. I'm saving that the best for last. He's in the Nate Diaz situation. He's getting a guy on short notice. Jones is not prepared for an unorthodox striker. OSP fights on instinct. He doesn't really follow the rules at all when it comes to grappling, wrestling, striking. It's very different. He doesn't defend the way you expect someone to defend. He's going out there and looking to drop you with a left hook. And that's his game plan, and he's sticking to it. And Jones has cage rust. I mean, he hasn't fought since January of last year. So it is there. The problem being, if Jones wants to take a round or 2 to get into it, OSP could be gassed by the middle of round 2. He's the type of fighter that doesn't tend to survive when things go longer. He is unpredictable. He does go for stoppages. And they do wear the tiny gloves. And if he hits him just square, right on the chin, John Jones could theoretically go down. Realistically, I give OSP a very, very slim to none chance at winning this fight. I would be shocked. Bigger shock than Holly Holm beating Ronda Rousey. Shock. If Ovince St. Preux somehow beats John Jones. I'm not far off here.
You're right on the door, buddy.
So, explain the 3 reasons that, I mean, I could have come up with 100.
Yours was 3 reasons OSP can beat. Mine is 3 reasons John Jones wins at UFC 197. I'm not even going to say can win, might win. He's going to walk out of UFC 197 the champion. The interim champion.
Yes, interim, your favorite word.
Yeah, I'm so happy that there's an interim title going on here. So, here we go. One, look, John Jones, look, all the stuff, hopefully he's behind him now, all the out of the octagon stuff. He's focused on fighting. You're seeing him actually posting photos of him training. He's ready to go.
Yeah.
He's had a full camp. He was preparing for Daniel Cormier, which, look, he didn't want to lose to Daniel Cormier, so I'm sure he was training extra hard to begin with. And now you're putting him in there with OSP.
Poor OSP.
And we just talked about it. He's coming off a decision win over, how'd you say that guy's name? Rafael
Cavalcante.
Yep, there you go, that guy. And Glover Teixeira, a submission loss. So, it's not a good look for OSP just right there.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, let's get into some numbers of Jon Jones. Yes, he's been out for 16 months.
Mm-hmm.
All right? But he's got a 12-fight UFC winning streak in the division.
To me, he has a 22-fight winning streak in the UFC.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But I'm going off of the stats here.
Yes.
5 fighters that have held an undisputed UFC championship belt.
Yep.
All right? He's actually been taken down now, takedowns twice in his 22-fight MMA career. 35 of 37.
First guy to take down Cormier as well.
Yeah. And one of those guys that took him down was Cormier.
Mm-hmm.
And then, my final reason, and really I just wanted to put one reason, and I was going to put this for each one, but I thought it would make for a silly article.
Yes.
But he's Jon Jones.
He is Jon Jones. That is true.
And I went back to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right now, Jon Jones, he's the number one in the latest UFC light heavyweight and pound for pound rankings. And guess what? He may have been out of the octagon for 16 months. You might see it as ring rust. I see it as ring rest.
Yes.
And he's coming back healed. He's not coming in with any injuries other than maybe some nicks and whatever from training. But he hasn't fought in 16 months. So what there tells me OSP has a CHANCE.
The tiny gloves they wear on their hands.
They do. You know what, though? I sit here and we did the same thing. Well, you did it anyways. Because I had the reasons Holly Holm could win on that one. And we said the same thing. So, look, maybe your article can win. He can win.
Yeah.
But will he win? That I don't see happening.
Again, anything can happen. What will happen, Jon Jones is going to win by a stoppage of some sort.
Yeah. And he will be the new interim UFC light heavyweight champion.
Yes. And I'm of the opinion that Jones is the greatest fighter of all time. I'm not alone in that opinion.
No.
But this is a legitimate chance to have a second Hall of Fame career.
And I was going to say one more thing, too, about OSP being from Tennessee. Nobody in Knoxville's ever won a prime time.
Oh, man. And it's funny because you mentioned Tennessee. The UFC does a great job with their embedded videos, and OSP was at the Tennessee spring game, and I don't know who he was talking to. And they were asking, "Oh, who are you fighting this week?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm fighting Jon Jones." And then they kind of go back to talking, and the guy kind of goes, he picks his head up and goes, "You're fighting Jon Jones?" And he kind of gives him the look like, "Dude, good luck with that."
I'm glad the spring game was before that fight.
Yeah, man, I really like OSP as a fighter, but this man is a whole other level. This is a returning Jon Jones.
And he's going to want to make a statement, too. That's the thing that's even more scary, I think, about this fight is Jon Jones is going to want to make a statement. He's not going to want to play around.
He's better than ever, too. He looks better than ever.
He's bigger, stronger. I mean,
he's going to be a heavyweight in 2 fights.
Yeah.
I try to, like, our job is to come up with reasons to the contrary, but this one just seems like it's tried and true. This one is pretty.
There's always that puncher's chance. They say it in by, but in UFC, it's more than ever because the gloves are smaller. There's a puncher's chance. Again, Jon Jones has been out for 16 months. Will he maybe make a miscalculation on something? We've seen it. People get hit. Jose Aldo got hit.
Yeah.
I mean, you get overzealous, you come charging in, you never know. You never know, but
you never know unless you do.
Yeah. I mean, we won't know until that bell rings Saturday on what we're going to get, but I got to believe Jon Jones is going to come out to make a statement, and maybe that's something that OSP and his corner in these 2-3 weeks leading up to this fight Maybe that's what they're hoping. They're banking on. Hey, he's going to come out charging like a bull. You throw out that, the punch, the left, and let's hope it lands.
Yeah. Throw that punch, put your head between your legs, and kiss your butt goodbye.
I mean, if he takes you down, do what you can. Let's try to get to the second round or something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're going, but they got to have something where it's like, look, this is what we got to do. Just go out there and, because, I mean, nobody's given OSP a chance.
No. And rightly so.
No, exactly. I mean, I'm not saying that, but, like you've said it many times, there's that puncher's chance in the UFC. We've seen it happen. I mean, by guys like, you didn't think that had a chance. I mean, when we looked at, what was it, Mir and Duffy that one time? Then Mir walks out and knocks him out cold in less than a minute. And I'm like, sometimes guys you think that don't have that chance.
Yeah.
They make it happen. But St. Preux did not take advantage of that chance the last time he was on a main stage. And that's another thing that kind of puts an X against him.
It's going to be a hell of a show on Saturday. I'm very excited for it, but it could be more predictable than we think. But who knows? We could be talking about this next Wednesday or Thursday and being like, was 197 a night to remember in the history of the UFC?